All right, ladies and gentlemen, Raye Carr is about to come on talking about how to use and harness the power of your mind, especially if you want to learn from a hypnotherapist on how you can align with your greatest possible self. Definitely stick around. It's going to be a powerful conversation. Before that, I want to say thank you for tuning in, for choosing to be your greatest possible self here with us today. I want to share our iTunes review of the week. It's by P. Cully, who says, great podcast, informative and educational. Love the energy and effort that goes into this marathon. Tune in and see what I am talking about. P. Coley, thank you so much for that review. If you want a chance to get shouted out on a future 12-hour live stream, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the Apple Podcast Store. Leave us a review. Let us know what you love, what you want to see more of, how we can improve the show for you, and definitely hit that subscribe button while you're there so you can keep getting all the latest updates and stay connected to awesome interviews like the one we're about to do with Raye. Thanks so much for being here. Next up, I'm going to introduce Raye so that y'all can know who she is. Before that, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, be ready to take notes because this is going to be a power-packed interview. Raye Carr is a certified clinical and transpersonal hypnotherapist serving Savannah, Georgia and surrounding areas. Her belief is that we have everything within us to heal the mind and the body, and hypnosis is a tool she uses to help you realize this awesome power. Her personal mission in life is to inspire the world through meaningful and passionate service, with divine guidance to share herself, her experiences, and her wisdom in a way that promotes love, peace, health, and prosperity. And that is just the tip of the iceberg with Raye. Raye, are you ready to bring the heat, Superwoman?
I am ready. Thank you so very much for having me here, Chris.
Absolutely.
This is an amazing platform, so I really appreciate inviting me to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Well, let's dive right in. The theme of today is home is blank. What does home mean for you, Raye?
Oh my goodness. So when in considering, that what does home mean? Home is blank. I have like so many different experiences in that I'm living in the United States, but I was born in South America in Guyana. So when I thought about that, the first thing that popped up was home is, of course, where I was born,
Right.
Um, but also where I'm living now, I consider it home.
Yes.
So home to me is not a place. Home to me is a space in this universe where you can just be yourself, where you can, be authentically who you are, follow your desires, follow your dreams, follow your heart, listen to your mind, and maneuver through this world from a place of authenticity. So in the times when, and just that question, had me consider some various times in my life where I didn't feel at home, and realizing that I didn't feel at home because I wasn't being myself. I wasn't very comfortable in my own skin. So home is here. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the mind is. Home is any place where you can express yourself fully, truly, and authentically and feel that warmth and acceptance. So home is anywhere that I choose for it to be at this point, in my life. So
I love it, Raye. That is profound. I love what you said about just being your authentic self, right? The at-home feeling is just whoever you are. It's like perfect, and being free and being at ease to be that, at peace to be that, whatever it is. So I love it. I love what you're sharing so far. I want to tell our audience a little bit more about your hypnotherapy, how you're transforming people's mind and how they see themselves. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I am a hypnotherapist. I go by the Fit Hypnotist in Savannah because what I do is that I really help people to reach goals that they've set for themselves.
I love it.
Hypnosis and hypnotherapy is such an awesome tool because it helps people to really harness the power that is the mind. Uh, Ever since we were this big, they've been telling us, the mind is powerful, or anything that you set your mind to, you can absolutely achieve. Yeah. And I truly believe that, but to have a tool, to have a set of instructions that help someone to do that has been the most amazing journey for myself. over the past 6 years that I've been doing it.
Mm.
So hypnosis, what I say I do, I help people to really tap into the power of the mind and then use that power to reach your goals, because it's true that anything we set our mind to, we can absolutely achieve. However, rarely do they teach us how to
That's
set
right.
our minds,
Yeah.
right? So hypnosis is a tool that helps people to really create that mindset that's necessary to to achieve the goals that they have.
Mm.
And over these past couple of years, just been having such amazing results with helping clients to do exactly that on various levels.
Mm. I
So
love it.
thank you.
I
I'm
love that. I
excited
love that
about
you're
hypnosis.
just really tapping into what we already have inside of us, right? Like we already have all the resources, the resourcefulness, and you're just helping people to unlock what is already in them, or like clear away the stuff that might be blocking them from accessing that full potential, that full power. And I love it.
Exactly. When we think about the goals that we're looking to accomplish, regardless of what it is,
Hmm.
um, if we're not getting that goal, we say we hit a wall, right?
Yep.
In the gym, we say we hit a wall.
Hmm.
In business, we say we hit a plateau or a wall. We hit a space where we can't go any further. But I found that the wall is always made up of three very specific things, right? The things that we do,
Hmm.
our behaviors, right? Our emotions, which kind of dictates our behaviors,
Yep.
how we feel, dictates what we do, how we do it, if we do it, and who we
Yep.
do it with. So there's those emotions that dictate our behavior.
Mm.
And then part of our wall also is our thoughts. How we think, what we think causes emotions, and then those emotions dictate our behaviors.
Behaviors. Yeah.
So that wall, that entire wall, is not outside of us.
Mm.
That entire wall is inside of us, inside of our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is where all our behaviors are held, where our emotions are held, and also where our thoughts are processed and stored. So if all of those things are held in the subconscious mind, having a tool that helps you to unlock the subconscious mind and then also deliver positive suggestions for better behaviors,
Mm.
for better feeling emotions, and also positive thoughts that actually help towards our goals, then we absolutely have everything within us in order to
Yeah.
achieve our goals. It's just a matter of reaching into the toolbox and pulling out the right tool, to do exactly that. And hypnosis just gives us a chance to do that. And I'm ecstatic about how people, or even in myself, some of the
Mm.
changes I see in myself using this tool. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. I see it. I see you like lit up at just knowing this and having access to these tools. It's awesome. So Ray, I want to go back into your journey and talk about what was it like for you before hypnosis, before mindset work and personal development. Tell us about that.
Okay, so before hypnosis, well, I'll tell you about a period just before I got into hypnotherapy.
Okay.
I was at my heaviest at 218 pounds. I'm
No.
5'2".
No.
I was smoking. I wasn't smoking heavy, but I was smoking enough to where, well, any cigarette is more than the body needs or
Yep.
wants,
Yep.
right? But I was smoking about a three-fourths of a pack of cigarettes a day.
No.
Um, I was not exercising. I was unhealthy. My body, I have a diagnosis of lupus, right?
Mm.
So my body was going through all sorts of different types of changes.
Mm.
And then on the outside, the things that I was putting into my body was not helping, some of the genetic things that was going on. And then there was a point in my life where I had to stop smoking because I wanted to lose weight. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without my chest hurting or I'm breathing hard. And And I'm relatively young, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these things, really start to hinder, my day to day life.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to quit smoking, and that was my first thing with hypnosis. I tried to quit smoking. I did Chantix because I was in healthcare. I
Uh-huh.
worked as a medical assistant. I would see uh, patients come in. I would counsel them about their smoking and how terrible it was for their body. And then at break time, I'll run down in the smoking area and smoke. So I knew all the things out there medically that was available to me,
Mm-hmm.
So I tried the medications, and medications gave me weird dreams. I even went to a support group, and I felt like terrible just being in a support group because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I'm really in a support group to quit smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Uh, and all of those things definitely, they're out there because they work for some people, but it was ways that weren't working for me. So I went to a hypnotist that kind
Mm-hmm.
of goes around the country, and uh, before I went to it, I was like, this is like my last resort. And I
Yeah.
hear this from my clients. It's like, this is like my last resort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to someone to hypnotize me to reach my goal. And then when I did, I went there and I quit smoking that night. For people who smoke who smoke or have smoked in their life, they know on long drives you want to smoke, and the drive from where I did this session to home was about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove all the way home, and I was like, "What? I didn't smoke, right?" And then people who smoke, they know if you go out to a bar or you're eating, the next thing that you want to do is smoke a cigarette. So I was like, so I went out, had a couple of drinks with a friend, got back home, had dinner, and I was like, wow, I'm still not smoking. What is going on,
Yeah.
Uh, and then, after that, 2 weeks went by and I was still wasn't smoking. It's like the switch that was here that said smoke was like turned off and
Uh-huh.
permanently turned off because I didn't want it. Um, I would be driving around and say, wow, I would be smoking at this time.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to be doing in this space? Because it was
Mm-hmm.
just so, it's life changing when
Yeah.
you let go of a habit that cripples you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after quitting smoking, after it had been 2 weeks, and I was convinced, like, oh yeah, I'm a non-smoker right now. Work for
Mm.
me. I started looking into hypnosis and how it works and why it works, and that really sparked something in me because I've always been in a space where I was helping people. I was either an advocate or in some way working in healthcare. I was in the military before, so I've
Mm-hmm.
always had this spirit of helping others. So I just wanted to know why this tool works
Yeah.
and how I can help other people using the same tool. So that was my dive into hypnosis and hypnotherapy. The most amazing part of my training was that I got to experience all of the sessions that I do with my clients.
Yep.
So in
It's
that
huge.
training, it was a transformation for myself
Mm.
because I was able to work on some of these issues that I had, work on some of the goals that I have using this exact tool. That's why I'm always so uh, that's why I light up when
Yeah.
I talk about hypnosis because it absolutely works, and not because I heard about it or read about it, because I've seen that in my own life. So here it is, 6.5 years later, and I'm a non-smoker. I'm still a non-smoker, right? No cigarettes since
Wow.
then. Um, within that time, I've been able to lose weight. From like I said, my heaviest is like 218 pounds on a 5'2" body, and I'm down to my weight when I was 18 years old.
Wow.
When I joined the military. So, uh, those are two of the major things, that I've been able to accomplish myself. When someone sees me, they can see the difference. One, I'm not a smoker. Two, I'm close to about 90 something pounds less
Yeah.
than I was before. Um, but the changes that take place internally in
Mm.
someone's life, I tell my clients, they say, you think you're coming here to quit smoking, right? You think
Mm.
you're coming here to lose weight. But the truth is, once we change our way of thinking and we enhance our emotions, and then now we have better behaviors or even better sensations and feelings that we have in our bodies, that is life changing.
Mm.
I quit smoking and I started a whole business from it, right? I started helping people, using this tool because I changed my mindset about one thing.
Mm.
So I've used this tool to help me through various things in my life because, as you know, as an entrepreneur, that's not the easiest, smoothest road to
Yep.
travel,
Yep.
you know. And if you're coming from the mindset that I was in, because I was never business minded,
Mm.
that was never something that I kind of grew up, oh, I'm going to own my own business. Even when I opened my hypnotherapy practice, it was like, yeah, I know how to hypnotize.
Mm.
Now what? Right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I want to
So,
give our audience some practical
absolutely.
like tips or strategies that they can really do to work with their mind. I know we talked about behaviors, emotions, thoughts, and we talked about hypnotherapy. Typically, I think people relate to that as, okay, I get to go see a hypnotherapist like yourself to work
Mhm.
with someone to create that kind of a transformation, which is true. And is there anything else that they can be doing to really harness the power of their mind, Ray?
Absolutely. Chris, the mind is so powerful,
Yeah.
right? And I think that people don't really understand how powerful the mind is. So, whatever picture that we hold in our mind intentionally, we attract into our life.
Yep.
We manifest into our life. Um, whatever picture we hold in our mind intentionally, every part of our body, every part of us want to achieve that picture.
Yep.
So one of the first things that I tell clients to start harnessing the power of their mind is to hold intentional pictures of the things that they want to accomplish in life and
Mm.
not hold the pictures of the things that they don't want.
Yeah.
When clients come into me, they have a list of things. I don't want to smoke. I don't want
Mm.
to smoke in my house, in my car. I don't. However, the reason why we keep accomplishing those things that we don't want to do is because we keep a focus on the things that we don't want to do.
Mm.
So, and it happens in our self talk,
Mhm.
right? We say to ourselves, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, but the mind doesn't see don't want.
Yeah.
The mind speaks in pictures and symbols, so the mind doesn't see don't want. The
Mhm.
mind just sees the picture of the thing you say you don't want, and then the mind continues to move towards that thing,
Yep.
right? So one of the first things that people can do to really start accomplishing their goals is to be clear about what they do want,
Mm.
right? To sit down and to write down things that they absolutely do want to accomplish.
Yeah.
And then in their mind, hold that picture intentionally, right?
Yeah.
To sit there and daydream. I love to tell my clients that it's okay to daydream about the things that you do want
Mm.
because stress is the opposite. When we daydream about the things that we don't want, and
Mm.
then we continue to achieve those, right?
Mhm.
So many
Mhm.
people say, oh, I find myself wrapped up in negative thoughts, right?
Mhm.
The way that we combat that is to put those positive things that we do want in our mind
Yeah.
and to hold that not on accident, but with intention.
Mm.
So to sit for a couple of minutes out of the day, 2 minutes out of the day, and just hold a picture and to daydream intentionally about the things that you want to accomplish, so much quicker the mind changes, so much easier the mind adapts to the positive steps, to the positive thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that it takes in order to reach those goals.
Wow. And that's really committing to that process, having a discipline of like, I want to daydream. I'm excited to daydream. It's like the discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals what you want to create. So it's like transforming a conversation of, okay, here's all the things I don't want, and creating a discipline around, hey, I want to think about this. I want to daydream. And I was loving what you were saying there, because it's like, I think people get so caught up in the need and the hurry to do things, like scarcity thinking, like I gotta be go, go, go on the hamster wheel of life. And it's like, if we just take a second more to pause and like really just step into that vision, step into that picture that we want to create, that we are creating, I think there's so much value in that. And it doesn't detract from the work that we're doing. It doesn't take away from that. It actually adds to it when we're doing it in a healthy way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, when we're doing it in a healthy way,
Yep.
the unhealthy way, a lot of people are doing that anyway. When
Yeah.
you let your mind kind of go down that rabbit hole of, what could happen and all the negative things that you don't want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So you end up doing that anyway. To do it with intention on the positive thoughts, on the positive things, absolutely takes you closer towards your goal. And another thing, another tip that I would absolutely give to the viewers is to, as much as possible, stay here in the present moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, when you say intentionally daydream, right, that is a little bit of taking yourself out of the present moment. But that's why we do it with intention. Set a time aside to do so. But outside of that, to stay in the present moment, to realize that in the right here and right now, that things, for the most part, are exactly how they need to be.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In the right here and right now, if we can keep our mind in the present and feel our bodies, be in the space that we're in, be in a space of gratitude and appreciation for everything that's around us, that is another great mindset to be in a mindset of gratitude.
Wow, this is great. How can people remember to stay present and remember to be grateful? Is there like a specific way you encourage them to stay connected with that? Because it's easy to say, hey, go be grateful and live your life in gratitude. And how?
Like you said, there's a discipline, right?
Yep.
And the discipline comes from being committed.
Mm.
When you want a better life, when you want more, to be more, to do more, to have more, then that becomes kind of a driving force, right? But that only comes from knowing what that looks like and what that feels like. That comes from being clear about what it is that you want to accomplish. So I'll give myself as an example. If I know I have huge goals out there to accomplish, for example, I have goals of speaking in front of millions of people at some point in my life, right? So I have that goal to accomplish. Looking forward to that creates that commitment, right? The discipline comes with all the other things that we have around us. How easy is it to set yourself a reminder to be in a space of gratitude?
Gratitude, yeah.
Because we don't walk around typically in that space. A lot of us don't, so we have to remind ourselves to do so, to be in that space, and to be in that space intentionally, and to start saying thank you out loud, to start expressing gratitude to people, start connecting, and that happens when we are present, right? And we can be here in this space and say, oh wow, I'm here in this space. Look how amazing this is. I'm grateful for the people in my life, the things in my life, everything that's in my life. And to do so is not as simple as I say. It
Mm.
can be as simple as setting yourself a note. When you know what your goal is, to create that discipline is easier when you have made that commitment. You make that commitment easier when you know what's on the other end, what's on the other side. So be clear about what it is that we want, so that we can create that commitment and also that discipline, and
Yeah.
use the tools that are around us to remind ourselves to be grateful. I write on my mirror.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look there every single day.
Yep.
So I write little notes on the mirror, especially if I find that I haven't been intentionally grateful
Grateful.
for people and things. I write it on my mirror. Say, remember to be, these things.
Mm.
Also, affirmations. Affirm these things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Tell yourself these things. I am grateful. Uh, I am thankful for the things and people, places, experiences in my life. And feel that,
Mm-hmm.
once you feel that, once you remind yourself of that, and you feel that, then it's almost second nature that it now comes out of you. And,
Overflows.
you
Yeah.
can walk around, yes, in that
Yeah.
state.
Wow. So I think that there's a lot of different places people might be on their journey with relationship to hypnotherapy. Some people may have tried it and done it already. Some people may not have done it. What else do you think people need to know, especially those ones who haven't yet had a session, to know about hypnotherapy before going in?
Before going into hypnotherapy, I love to tell people that hypnosis is not mind control and it's not control over your body, right? I think that is the number one thing
Mm.
that people are somewhat hesitant to use hypnosis for.
Yep.
So this is what I tell my clients in the office. I say, you're not giving me control over your mind. You're not giving me control over your body.
Mm-hmm.
What we do exchange is trust, right?
Mm.
You trust me enough to take some instructions, and these instructions will get you to a place where we can affect positive changes on the subconscious.
Mm.
The truth is that we go in and out of a trance all day long, right? All day long, some from 8 to 16 times.
Mm.
We drift in and out of a hypnotic trance naturally without being told or said anything to.
Mm.
Uh, there's another phenomenon that a lot of people identify with. If you've been driving in a car, you leave from work and your mind gets caught up into thinking about something, and you're driving home, and then you get into your driveway, and then you say, "Oh, I don't remember taking that exit," or "I don't remember, the last half of my drive."
Yep.
Uh, that is uh, that is a state that's called highway hypnosis.
Mm.
Phenomenon that's called highway hypnosis.
Mm.
So the conscious mind just shifts off and starts thinking about something, probably reliving the day or thinking about something that you have to do.
Mm.
And then the subconscious mind, the bigger part of yourself, just takes over and starts that autopilot, right? Takes over and then drives you home.
Mm.
So in that state, you are safe because you've driven home.
Right.
Uh, and in that state, no one is under. You're not in control. No one is in control of you,
Right.
right? So that's the first thing I tell clients, that hypnosis, the hypnotic state, is a natural state
Mm.
that is achieved. I just know how to get you there with intention,
Mm.
right? So that we can affect the subconscious mind on purpose. The
Wow.
truth is, various things are affecting our subconscious mind,
Yep.
and a lot of times not for the positive, right? Uh, so with with a hypnotherapist or with myself, I say that what we do is exchange a level of trust that I can give you some instructions
Mm-hmm.
that take you to that place where we can engage with the subconscious. So
Mm.
that's the first thing, that it's a natural state and that it's not that it's not mind control or body
Mm-hmm.
control. Uh, the second thing that I think is very important that people know before doing hypnosis is that your conscious mind is always there. That
Mm-hmm.
part of your mind that sees and smells and hears and all of those things that is experiencing the world, on a conscious level is always there.
Mm-hmm.
So in hypnosis, that part of yourself that is aware is always aware,
Yep.
right? And then the subconscious mind, that part of yourself that is always about your protection, that is always about keeping you safe, that part of the mind is there as well. So you can absolutely trust that uh, the person who is there delivering these suggestions, um, that your mind will protect you,
Mm-hmm.
from anything else, you know. Uh, so I like to let clients know that it is a safe state to be in because your awareness is always there, and also your subconscious mind that is more about deeper and instinct. That part of your mind is there as well. So even if you don't trust the hypnotherapist, you can trust that your own mind is present in the state in order for it to help you to accomplish. So it's the
Wow.
same thing to be
Wow,
in.
this is great. I want to know in terms of hypnosis. I feel like there's a lot of hypnosis practitioners, maybe even different styles and techniques in hypnosis. How does someone know what kind of a hypnosis practitioner that they should go to for them and where they're at and where they want to go, what they want to transform in their life?
Okay. Um, I would say that the number one way that you would know if this hypnotherapist is someone that can help you
Mhm.
is by being in their space,
Mm,
right? Is to have in a space of connecting with that person. Because like you said, some people have said, oh, I've tried hypnosis and that it didn't work for me.
mm,
Uh, Typically, it wouldn't work when you haven't, or I hear people say, oh, I didn't go into a trance or something like that. If you haven't developed a level of trust and a level of comfort with that
mhm,
person,
mhm.
right, you won't be taking their suggestions. That's
Right.
just how the mind works. You won't take their instructions, right? So that's the number one way to see if a particular hypnotherapist would work for you or with the issues that you have. To
Mm,
be in their space and to ask them and to question them about the topic or the issue that you're coming in with.
mm,
Secondly, to be sure that the hypnotherapist has had training. Some states you do not necessarily need a license to practice hypnotherapy, but there
mm,
are different tiers or levels of training that someone can do. So
mm.
I would definitely say look for someone that's done a complete hypnotherapy program.
Okay.
Uh, the one Yes, a complete hypnotherapy program and not just someone that says, oh, I'm a hypnotist. Now, there are hypnotists that are effective for what they do, but
Mhm,
as the therapy part of it definitely requires some training, requires being able to connect with others on that level. So definitely to meet with a hypnotherapist, do a consultation with them
mm,
and get a feel for that person because that feeling that you get for that person is really going to dictate how the session goes, right?
mm,
Because if you were in a room with me and you say, you know what, I really have a bad feeling about Ray, right? You're not going to want to close your eyes. You're not going to want to do any of the things that I'm going to ask you to do in order to relax. So
mm,
that's the first thing, to be in a
mm,
space with someone that helps you or that connects with you.
mm,
And then because that person could be the most well trained, um, hypnotherapists around, but if they don't connect with you, they won't get you into that space that it takes in order for them to deliver those positive suggestions.
I know there's a lot of hypnosis tracks on YouTube. What's the difference between listening to something like that and going to a trained hypnotherapist for someone's individual hypnotherapy?
You just hit it right on the head. Individual, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own individual wall, their own individual, and I say is their personality, right?
Yeah.
Your personal reality is your behaviors, your emotions, and the way you think. All of that makes up your personal reality.
Yep.
So, and each person's personal reality is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I've had clients that come in for the same thing, smoking, but each client requires a different set of techniques or a different set of suggestions, and things like that. So what the recordings and such on YouTube do, they give like a baseline, like an umbrella, right? You can go into a trance, you can get relaxed. But if these suggestions don't resonate with you, then it's not going to work for you, right? So there's that. Uh, Deeper than just the suggestive part of it, receiving suggestions, there are different types of sessions that we do in hypnotherapy. Some of the sessions require some dialogue between myself and the client. Doing something on YouTube doesn't necessarily get to the deeper issues and the underlying issues that could be causing the problems that you come in with. So YouTube and such will give some wonderful suggestions to the subconscious mind. But deeper than that, we want to look at the emotions that cause the behavior and affect some changes in that as well. And that's individual. And then deeper than that, we want to look at the thought process that creates these emotions. And that with each person is individual because experiences or circumstances, things that happen in our lives is what create our way of thinking. So everyone has a different path, a different journey. So that'll be the biggest difference in using something like that from online. You know, just the individual process of how we process things.
Yeah, I love it, Ray. I hear that when someone wants to create transformation, it's so important to be, I think, for me, to be intimate with someone and let someone in, and like kind of there's this inner landscape going on in our subconscious mind, and it's like if we just want a YouTube video to come in and give us the deepest level of transformation, well, I don't think that YouTube hypnosis track can navigate into the deepest like recesses, so to speak, of our subconscious mind, like the deepest place where of who we are and like what we do and why we do it. And I think it really takes a trained person like yourself to ask those questions and to gently, respectfully, with trust, kind of like peel away the layers so that we can get to that most real, raw, authentic, vulnerable place, so that we can create that transformation and shift whatever image, whatever beliefs, whatever thought patterns, whatever emotions are there into something that's more helpful, beneficial, and resourceful for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just the way that the mind works or how we work, period, is that typically we don't value a lot of things that are free, right?
Yep.
Typically we don't value a lot of things that are free, and not value in the sense of monetary, but value in the sense of how it weighs in us and on us, right? So a lot of times you say we want this quick fix, and YouTube, if we're looking for a quick fix to something that is crippling us, that is crippling us emotionally, physically, and crippling us in our thoughts, and we want to go to YouTube and get a quick fix for it, how committed are we to that transformation, right?
Yeah.
And then two, we go to YouTube and then we put little to no effort into that because you literally can type in hypnosis for and something pops up. So we
Right.
put little to no effort into it. And if the expectation is large transformation, then those expectations are lofty,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Um, those expectations are really huge
Yeah.
to receive acting.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about is the transformation of going from a smoker to a non-smoker. The evidence of that is very big, very, obvious right away.
Mm-hmm.
What's like, I don't want to say typically, but I think that there's certain things like, let's say, earning more money or releasing weight, different things like that. That those things can take longer to show up. How does someone know if they've truly, impacted their subconscious mind? Like, what are the signs? What should they be looking for?
Okay. So one of the things that is change,
Hmm.
right? So the person that is looking to lose weight or
Hmm.
to let go of unwanted weight,
Hmm.
if they are not going to exercise,
Right.
right, before they come and see me or before they come and see a hypnotherapist, and then they wake up and they feel energized and they have this thought in their mind that says you should go to the gym. And
Mm.
then when they go to the gym, they feel great about it, right? The evidence is absolutely changed behavior.
Yeah.
The evidence is absolutely changed emotions
Mm.
because that person probably wasn't going to the gym before because they didn't like how they felt when they got
Hmm.
there, right? Uh, so the evidence is changed behaviors, changed emotions, and absolutely they'll change the way that they're thinking.
Mm. I love
Uh,
it.
I remember when I was in to exercise was I am never exercising again. I remember telling myself this, because in the military you're up at 6 o'clock in the morning being yelled at to run,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Doing things that you don't want to do. You're doing things that the sergeant or the drill sergeant is telling you to do. And so I remember saying, I don't know why anyone does this for fun. Who does this for fun? Who runs for fun? Who exercises for fun? Because I'm never doing this.
Mm.
And then I got out the military and I didn't. I didn't exercise. I didn't do anything for a couple of years. I just sat on my butt, smoked cigarettes, and ate what I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
So when I changed my mindset, of course, weight didn't fall off of me, within a month for me to be like, yes, but going into it a month later, I'm like, I'm getting up, I'm exercising on my own at home.
Mm.
What is this about, right?
Yeah.
My thought process about it changed.
Hmm.
I was excited to go exercise. Now, when I don't exercise, I miss it. My
Yeah.
body misses it. So the evidence is definitely in changed thoughts. The evidence is in changed emotions, enhanced emotions,
Hmm.
and also the evidence is in changed behavior. Um, in order to be, you know, I have a personal mission to be better than I was yesterday.
Yep.
Every single day I should be a better Raye today than I was yesterday.
Hmm.
So when you're on that mission, when you set that as your goal, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to quit smoking and things like that, as your mindset changes, you really start to kind of see that difference in the things you do and how you feel and the way that you think. Uh, like you said, some of those things that doesn't show like specific, they quit smoking, you can see the evidence of that. Cigarettes are no longer in my life.
Hmm.
But the other things like emotional release, when you let go of heartache, when you let go of stress, the evidence is in that freeness that you feel in your body, that freeness in your ability to breathe. I have clients that come in and they say, sometimes I'm not even breathing right. I kind of have to catch a breath because that heaviness is right there. So definitely the evidence is in how you feel in your body as well.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned you want to be a better version of yourself every day. What do you see in a year? Let's talk about 2021. It's March 11th, 2021. What skills will you have developed? How will your life be different? How will you have grown over this next year?
Oh, over this next year, because part of my journey definitely includes having coaches and mentors in my life, right? So, and I've jumped on that mission like full force at the beginning of this year and getting a spiritual mentor and a speech coach and things like that. So over the next year, some of the skills that I definitely want to have more under my wing is public speaking. I want to be out there speaking to crowds and groups of people. I do somewhat of that now on a little radio show that I do in Savannah. But that's a little bit where I can be in my enclosed space and talk to folks. But so I definitely want to be doing more public speaking. Definitely want to be doing more spiritual coaching and helping people to really tap into that spiritual part of themselves because the mind is definitely where we engage with whomever or whatever we call the divine. So I absolutely want to be very much more in helping others in that space as well.
I love it. I love it. I think that alignment, that connection with the divine really allows us to tap into our potential, and to embrace and accept and be able to receive the biggest opportunities, like the highest good for us, the highest good for all. If we continue to set that intention of being better every single day, then we can only attract that greatness into our life,
Absolutely. Yes. I as in that, being more in tune or in touch with the divine, we don't realize that that is why the mind is so powerful because that is where we harness. That is the power that we harness. Is the energy? Is the universe? Is God? Is whatever it is we call it? That is the power that we harness. It's not the power of Raye. It's the power of the mind that is connected to that source or that space where everything comes from. So very much with harnessing that power, the power of the mind is harnessing the power of God or harnessing the power of the divine. And that's a lot of power, right?
Infinite.
That's a lot of power. Exactly. Infinite power. And how amazing it is to step into all of that power. And how amazing it is to show someone, that's why I'm so in love with my life. I get to show people like, hey, this is how powerful you are. This is how amazing you are. This is how infinite you are as well. So, yeah.
I'm curious, is there any, because as I'm thinking about those, I was like, okay, so you've transformed smoking, you've transformed releasing weight, you've transformed different things for your clients as well. Is there anything that this doesn't work on, that hypnotherapy wouldn't work on?
Yes. Typically, I would say the people who cannot be hypnotized or should not be hypnotized, right, would be people who can't take instruction, right? And then those instructions, if we think about it, are instructions to think and see and create pictures in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So various mental disorders, it is uh, not beneficial to hypnotize
Okay.
because they may not be able to take the suggestions and instructions that you give them.
Yeah.
Because as we know, people with different mental disorders, mental illness, and things like that, they perceive the world differently. So
Yeah.
I could say one thing and then they perceive it some another way.
Yeah.
So that's someone that I would not hypnotize.
Got it.
Uh, so, and that's the first. Secondly, is someone who doesn't want to be,
Sure.
right? Someone who says, no, this is not going to work for me. I don't want it to work. Don't come around here with that hypnosis stuff, right?
My
That
significant other, they
person.
bought me this, and I have to be here. They told me if I don't, they're gonna dump me. But this isn't gonna work. Sorry.
Exactly, exactly. So for that reason, I tell clients on the phone, I say, listen, ladies, tell your husbands you are coming to a hypnotist. Okay, this shouldn't be the first time
Yep.
that they hear this, but yes, the person who does not want to be hypnotized, this will
Hmm.
not help
I love it.
them.
I love it. So it's really the person who is willing to be to have the suggestions given to them, to be guided, to be led. It might be difficult. There might be some trust issues at first, but the willingness, I think, the willingness to say, I'm going to give it a shot. I may be
Absolutely.
skeptical. I may not know what's going to happen, but hey, let's give it a shot. And then I think that's such a key ingredient. And I know our audience has that like excitement about what's possible for them, and they're in that
Yes.
I want to give this a shot kind of energy. So Raye, how can they connect with you? How can they find out more about a session with you? What do they do next?
Yes. I have a website. My
Yes.
website is raycarhypnotherapy.com.
I love it.
Just like my name, Raye Carr Hypnotherapy.
Mm.
On there, you can read a lot about hypnosis. You can read a lot about myself, get a little bit more information about me. But also on there, you can book a session, with me from my scheduling page. I do sessions online. I
Uh-huh.
do sessions in person.
Okay.
And then if you are a viewer of this podcast, something very special that I did put up is that there's a code on there. If you put in the code BPS Best Possible Self 2020, you can get $20 off of any of my sessions on there, which
Mm.
includes my consultation. So if
Wow.
you just would like a consultation just to get more information and see what is possible,
Yeah.
I'll just schedule. You can schedule it online with me. I'm able to do it over the phone and also in person. So either one, and I'm happy to help clients. On Facebook, I'm Raye Carr, the Fit Hypnotist. I also have a radio show that's called Let's See Who My Friends Are.
Mm.
That is, you can find that on my Facebook page as well, where, we just talk with people about their unique experience in life, and try to find out who they are. So yeah, my hope is that you guys will check me out or even call me just to talk about hypnosis,
That's
right?
right.
Because my goal is really just to give all of the information that I can so that you can make the best decisions and use um, the best possible tools that are available to
I
you.
love
So
it. I love it. So
yeah,
again, they go to raycarhypnotherapy.com. And that's
yes,
RAYECARR hypnotherapy.com. And Raye, you are just a powerhouse. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here and sharing your light and your wisdom with our audience. It has been a blast. I super, super appreciate you. And thank you so much for everything that you're bringing to the world, the light, the empowerment, and just who you are. It's super inspiring. So thank you so much for being here.
thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And to your audience, you guys are very powerful. And the quicker that you realize that, the quicker you get
Mm.
to your goal. Thank
Amen.
you.
Amen. I love it. Raye, thank you so much. You have a great rest of your evening, okay?
Thank you so much. You keep doing what you're doing, Chris. You have a great rest of your evening too.
Thank
Yes.
you. See you soon.